Okay, welcome back. This is in this section we're going to focus on graphing and writing piecewise functions. So first of all, example 2, graphing a piecewise function. So graph y equals negative x minus 4 if x is less than 0. Again, that's negative. Y equals x if x is greater than or equal to 0. Describe the domain and range. So first step, graph y equals negative x minus 4 for x less than 0. So we go to negative x minus 4. Remember that if we go back to the idea of y equals mx plus b, and we write negative x minus 4, writing this in this way may help us to understand what is the slope m. Well, it's not just negative. We could write a negative 1 between the negative and the x, so m equals negative 1. That means that for every one that goes to the right, it goes down 1. And then negative 4 is the value of b, or the y-intercept. So it's going to cross down here at negative 4. Negative 4. And then its slope is going to go back up in this way, where it goes down 1 and over 1. That's the slope of negative 1. And so for x less than 0. However, when we get to 0, because it's strictly less than, it doesn't have the equal sign underneath it, we put an open, let me erase that. We put an open dot at negative 4. And then at x greater than or equal to 0, this is our second step, y equals x. And so y equals x is just a straight line that goes up from the origin, like that. And because it can be equal to 0, when x is 0, y is 0, so that's the origin. When x is 1, y is 1, x is 2, y is 2. Because y equals x, it just goes up like that. If it were to go back to the left, if it were able, it would just continue down in that same way. But we've just determined the domain as being x less or greater than or equal to 0. So the domain for the piecewise function, because this goes off, it's everywhere defined. We've got all of these values here. Crosses the vertical line crosses the graph everywhere at least once. Even at 0, it crosses here at 0. So the domain is all real numbers, which we can just write with this symbol. And the range, we see that on the left-hand side, it only goes as low as negative 4. And it doesn't go down from there. But it does go up. Up on the left and up on the right. And so, in this case, we would write that y is greater than or equal to... Nope, not equal. Y is greater than negative 4. And the reason it can't be equal to negative 4 is because it's determined by this value x less than 0. So it can't be exactly equal to negative 4. All right, so in the next monitoring progress, I'd like you to check that against the book. But try that out, 7 and 8. All right, example 3, writing a piecewise function. So we're given the instructions, write a piecewise function for the graph. The solution, each piece of the function is linear. So the left piece, we see that it goes up 1 and over 1. Up 1 over 1, the slope is 1. And it's, so we would write, again, y equals mx plus b. And so a slope of 1 times x plus b, which is the y-intercept, in this case is 3. 1 times x is just x, plus 3. And so the left piece would be x plus 3. And notice that it has the open circle there. So at x, this is for the values x less than 0, not equal. The reason it's not equal is because we see that open dot. The right piece, we see that it goes up 2 and over 1. So its rise is 2 and its run is 1. And so in this case, y equals mx plus b. We see the slope is 2x plus the value of b, and it crosses the x-axis at -1. So I'm going to change plus to minus and make that -1. And so the right piece is 2x minus 1, and that is for the domain of x greater than or equal to 0. And it's equal to because of the closed dot there at -1. And so the piecewise function for the graph is, we just put those together, x plus 3, comma, for the domain x less than 0, and 2x minus 1 for the domain x greater than or equal to 0. Once again, I would like you to go through and check the monitoring progress, make sure that you're understanding what's going on, and then check that against the book. Write a piecewise function for the graph. Go ahead and practice your own, numbers 9 and 10, as well as the ones number 7 and 8 above. We'll see you in the next video.